He shuts down, but you're still talking, and you both feel like you're doing it on purpose. You're not. Somewhere along the way, your marriage started to feel like a threat. And now we have two nervous systems that are responding exactly the way they were trained to. By the end of this video, I'm going to help you understand why your spouse responds the way they do. And it has a lot less to do with love than you think. I want you to imagine that you've just walked in the door, and before you can even put your keys down, you know something is wrong. You can feel it. The energy in the room has shifted. And even though you don't know what's wrong yet, you know what's coming. And then it starts. If you're the one who needs to talk things out, you can't let it go until it gets resolved, then your nervous system has been highly activated. Because for you, silence feels like abandonment. Distance feels like rejection. And the more your spouse pulls away, the more activated you become, because somewhere deep down inside of you, the message is, if I can just get them to respond, we'll be okay. Now, if you're the one who withdraws, you go quiet, you need space to process, you feel the walls coming up before you even register what's fully happening, well, your nervous system is doing something different. It's learned that there's no point in trying to engage in these kinds of situations because you're only going to make things worse. So it shuts the door on that. Not because you don't care or because you're trying to punish your spouse, but because it feels like the safest thing to do in the moment. Retreat and wait for it to pass. We call this the pursue-withdraw cycle, and I think it's one of the most common and most painful cycles that I see in couples that I work with. Two completely understandable responses to people who aren't feeling safe, locked together now and making them even more unsafe than when they first started. And while this often plays out with the wife being the pursuer and the husband being the one who shuts down, it can flip the other way. I've seen that many times where the husband is the pursuer, can't let go of a conversation, and the wife needs to retreat. The cycle is the same no matter who's playing the role. So why does this even happen? Well, some of it's wiring. There's plenty of research to show that when the brain perceives emotional threat, it goes into either fight mode or flight mode. But a lot of this has to do with what you learned, often way before your marriage even began. Imagine growing up in a home where conflict means someone's going to leave you, emotionally or physically. So if you don't keep talking, pushing, engaging, then it means you're going to lose connection. So your nervous system learns early on that pursuit is the way to survive disconnection. Now imagine growing up in a home where conflict means explosion, big, overwhelming, unpredictable emotions. How do you survive that? You go invisible. You get small and you hide. And so now your nervous system has learned from a very early age that conflict can only be survived by withdrawing. Neither of you chose your responses. You learned them in a home you didn't choose, from people who were probably doing the best they knew how to do. And then you married each other and you moved into the same house and you started having arguments. And now you're wondering why you can't reach each other. Well, it's not a character flaw. It doesn't mean you're incompatible. You're just two people with very different survival responses who are trying to love each other, but without a map. The most practical thing you can do in this moment is give each other what you need. So if you're the one who finds yourself shutting down, you need to ask and verbalize what you need, which is, I need a break. I need 5 minutes, or I need 20 minutes. Can we circle back around to this conversation? I don't want to give up on it. I know it's important. We are okay, but I need a little bit of time to just manage my emotions and process what you're saying. If you're the one who wants to push, you're the pursuer, you need to verbalize to your spouse, I need to know we're okay, but I can see that you need some space. How much time do you need? Can we come back to this conversation? When can we come back to it? And that gives you the reassurance that they're not just shutting down on you permanently. They're not abandoning the conversation. They just need some mental time to process, to regroup, and to come back. That is the most practical thing that both of you can do in that moment. when you step outside of the pattern and you call it out and then verbalize what you need. And I know that it sounds simple to say that. It's difficult to do in the moment. It takes practice. But shifting the conversation, even in that tiniest way, stepping out of it and saying, here's what I think is going on with us right now. Can we just slow this process down? Has done more to save marriages than you can possibly imagine. And that's why I created Marriage in Bloom, a 6-month high intensive program to help couples shift out of this pursuer withdraw cycle, one of many that shows up in marriages. All you got to do to find out more about this program is sign up for your free private marriage assessment. This is a 60-minute free call with me. The link is in the description below. And if you're ready to go deeper, I've got another video that I want you to watch. It's also in the link.